So for Abby and Pin, what am I doing? Hope your name is Pin now. Just saying. Hello, all my wonderful collectioneers out there. Once again, I'm going to say thank you so much for returning for this video. And if it's your very first time visiting the channel, my name is Beth, and this is the Collectionears Club channel. And I am so glad to see you here for the very first time, or if you're returning. Either way, love you. So if you have not yet subscribed, I hope that you do, because you know, we try to have some fun here on the channel and do a lot of Disney stuff, a lot of Disney fun stuff. So I'd love for you to stick around, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So today is no exception. I have not one Disney pin tag, but two Disney pin tags, and they're both on the same subject. I know, it's a shock. Normally when I put things together, they have nothing whatsoever to do with one another. This time, I've got two summer pin tags that I'm putting together. I know, it's mind-boggling. Normally I am trying to catch up because I have not yet done a Christmas pin tag and it's now June, but this time I'm right on the money. It's summer. It's going to be the first day of summer when this goes up, so hello, pat the self on the back. I am right there with it. Before we get started, it was funny, Heather from The Disney Housewife, who I adore, who is my sister from another mister, and I love her, she was putting together a summer pin tag, and I think she kind of messaged me with some questions, prompts that she had, and it just evolved into me saying, hey, I want to do it with you, and you know, giving her some questions too, because I've never done one of these. I've never created a pin tag. And so being my sweet sister friend, she said, okay, give me what you got. And so we came up with 10 prompts for the summer for a pin tag. Well, my lovely other sisters from another mister, Hope and Abby from the Disney Sisters, they're actually related. They came up with a summer pin tag because they're the queens of pin tags, and they already posted because, you know, they're just Johnny on the spot and they're just on top of everything. So we were watching that, Heather and I were like, oh geez, you know, we have ours, we were going to do it on the 21st, and they tagged me, which, thank you, Abby and Hope, they're always so sweet to me. I just adore them. So, and of course, everybody that I'm rambling on about, I will of course link their channels up above and down below so that you can go over and check them out if you haven't already. So at any rate, I now have two summer pin tags to do, same video. Without further ado, let's get started, huh? Okay. Let's do it. Now, of course, I said Heather and I had 10 prompts, and Abby and Hope had 6, and so 3 of them actually overlapped. So when we overlapped, I'll kind of give you both prompts and then go from there. It'll be the same pin, kind of the same prompt, if you will. So that kind of happened on question number 1. For Abby and Hope, it was Mr. Sun, show a pin with the sun on it. And for Heather and I, number 1, we did The Heat Is On. I didn't sing it, you're welcome. So show a pin with the sun on. So I tell you what, I had to search high and low. I did not have a pin that had the sun on it to save my life, and I'm shocked at that. But here I came up with this one, and I know it's a bit stretchy, I'll give you that, but it was the only one that I had to go on. It is obviously a Valentine's pin with Miss Minnie Mouse in her mailbox. Now, I'm assuming that's a sun behind her. I'm assuming that she's not getting her mail in the middle of the night, and that's a big old harvest moon behind her, especially since it's Valentine's Day. You know, this pin tag is getting confusing already, and I'm only on the first one. But this is the only one I got, folks, so it was a Disney Auctions pin, limited edition of 250, and it was released in February of 2004. So there's my kind of sun pin. So number 2 for Abby and Hope was cloud gazing, and that was show a pin with clouds featured on it. So of course I'm going to feature one of my Sleeping Beauty pins. Because as we all know, at the end of the movie, Aurora and Philip are dancing on the clouds because they're just so happy. And of course it has my blue dress on there. Gotta have that. But this is kind of a miniature of a movie poster for that, and I adore it, and I'm glad they have her in the blue dress, as always. This one was released from the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank. That's what it says on PinPix, which is weird. I've never seen that before. It's a limited edition of 250, and it was released in July of 2014. So number 3 on Abby and Hope's summer pin tag is Splish-Splash, show a pin featuring a water activity. So for this little pin, I selected Lilo and Stitch tubing in the water. It looks like fun. Lilo is hanging on for dear life. And this was part of the Stitch Sundays release out in Disneyland. It says that it's an open stock pin, so no limited edition on this one. And they were kind of released, I think they started in Disneyland, and then it kind of became like a open stock for multiple parks. So the release date's kind of 2003-ish to 2004-ish. So that just looks like they're having lots of fun. Number 4 was another overlap, if you will. So number 4 for Abby and Hope's summer pin tag was just Beachy, show a pin with the beach featured on it. And for Heather and I's summer pin tag, it was we all need a little vitamin C, S-E-A, get it? That's very cute. Heather did that one. So share a pin with the water or the beach on it. So for this one, it's once again part of that Stitch Sundays release, but this one, I'm gonna guess that they did these photos like at the end of the movie as limited edition pins, and then they also released some kind of open stock pins like the Lilo and Stitch tubing one. So this was a limited edition of 2,500, and it was released in August of 2003. And I just love this one because I just love how gentle Stitch has become, shading the sea turtle mama and her baby on the way to the water. I just think that that is so very sweet, and I love the colors. It just really pops. So very cute pin. Okay, so number 5, we also overlapped on that one. So for Abby and Hope's pin tag, it was snack time. Show a pin with a favorite summer snack of yours on it. And for Heather and I, we had said summer is the time to fire up the grill. So feature a pin with your favorite summer snack on it. So for this one, I decided to include my Nick Wilde PTD, Pin Trader's Delight, because it reminds me of my son had a Star Wars birthday party, and his birthday is in June. We just celebrated it. And back when he did the Star Wars birthday party, we did these fun float drinks. And we made a green one that was a Yoda soda, and a red one that was a Darth Malt. And it had like Hawaiian Punch and ice cream and 7-Up. And so a lot of summers after that, we made those because they're so refreshing and so fruity and so good. Of course, Nick is holding his root beer float, and it just reminded me of the Darth Malts and Yoda sodas that we made many summers when my son was growing up. Of course, this Nick Wilde PTD was a limited edition of 300, and he was released in December of 2016. He's one of my favorite pins in my collection. Okay, and so the final question in Hope and Abby's summer pin tag, number 6, was a vacation destination. So show a pin with travel or vacation destination. This pin is hot off the presses. I just received this from Hong Kong Disneyland, from, of course, Candace, my favorite Hong Kong personal shopper. It is celebrating the 14th anniversary of the Hong Kong Disneyland parks, and at first I thought I was going to need to use this for the nautical pin coming up in the tag, but I found another one for that, so I thought that I would feature my latest cookie pin in this prompt because I would love to visit Hong Kong Disneyland and the park in Shanghai and the park in Tokyo. I would love to do just a whole sweep of those parks because I'd want to buy all the merch there. It's just absolutely adorable, and I would go broke, but I'd have a lovely time doing it. So I think that this is just an open rack pin. I'm not quite sure because, like I said, I just got it. She's steering the ship with those adorable paws, and I love it. Okay folks, from here on out, it's just going to be Heather and I summer pin tag because we covered Hope and Abby's 6 prompts. So not to confuse anyone, the rest of them are just going to be Heather and I. Number 7 is let the summer activities begin. Show a pin with a favorite summer activity on it. Now this of course is a Christmas oriented or a winter oriented pin with 2 of my faves, Chip and Dale, but they're sitting at a campfire, and I've got to say I'm not a big outdoor person, but one of the things that I have adored growing up and then with my son growing up, I've just always loved campfires. Sitting around a campfire in the summer, doing s'mores, and the winter, of course, obviously to keep warm and to do s'mores, but that's just always been a favorite thing of mine, so I wanted to feature that for this prompt. It was released several different parks, I believe. It's just an open stock pin that they had back in October of 2016. Okay, so number 8 for Heather and I was summer is blockbuster movie season. So show a pin that features your favorite Disney movie. Now I can hear the gasps of shock in the ether because I assume you guys all think that I chose Sleeping Beauty as my favorite movie. And while it is right there with this one, I always use the disclaimer that I watched The Legend of Sleepy Hollow for a solid month in October. And I can't say that about Sleeping Beauty. I love Sleeping Beauty. I watch it several times a year, but Ichabod is pretty much on repeat during the month of October. So I've got to give the favorite movie spot to a movie that I have to watch for an entire month out of the year. I mean, that's hard to beat. So of course this one is the original, I think, movie poster, Ichabod and Mr. Toad, featuring Bing Crosby, a miniature version of that. It's got the release year of 1949 on it, and Pinpicks indicated that this was sold in the Disney store in the US. It was an open stock pin, and it was released in April of 2002. And these are kind of harder to come by, so I am just glad to have another Sleepy Hollow pin in my Sleepy Hollow collection. Number 9 is bold stripes and bright stars. Show your favorite patriotic pin. This one is hands down my favorite patriotic pin that I own. I love this pin so much. It's just an absolute favorite of mine, just overall. Of course, you've got Chip and Dale with little sparklers, and they've got the period dress, and they've got the flag behind them, and I just adore this pin. It was released at the Disney Soda Fountain. It's a limited edition of 200, and they released it in July of 2016. And I'm just very glad to have it in my collection. Number 10 is summer is a time for a road trip, so show a pin that features a vehicle on it. So this once again is part of the Stitch Sundays release. Now this one is a limited edition of 2500, and it was released in August of 2003. And of course this is another one of those photos at the end of Lilo and Stitch where they are washing the car as a family, and of course Stitch is being a little mischievous nut as he is and spraying Nani and Lilo with the water. They don't seem like they're enjoying it that much, but Stitch is having a marvelous time. There's his buggy that he uses as a weapon earlier in the movie, but I guess it survived and it's now getting a good wash. So happy endings all around. Number 11 is It's the Dog Days of Summer, so show a pin that features your favorite Disney dog on it. This is a special pin. It's one of only 2 Dinah the Dachshund pins that I own. And I chose this one because it's so very cute that they're giving one another a smooch and they've got their ears up, and it's just an electric moment obviously between Pluto and Dinah, and I love it. This was part of the Sweet Kisses calendar frame set that was released in Japan at the Disney store. It's a limited edition, but Pinpick says that it's a size that's just unknown, and it was released for the 2003 year, and it's got a whole bunch of different cute kisses of different characters for each month. Obviously it's a calendar pin, and I'm just glad that they featured Dinah on this one. It's really, really rare to find a pin with her on it. Number 12 is Let Your Dreams Sail. Show a Disney pin that features a nautical theme or item on it. So for this one, I really struggled because I thought, oh boy, I don't have a nautical pin in my collection. And then I thought, yes, you do. Captain Culpepper Klein from the Haunted Mansion mystery set that they had in Walt Disney World. It was the Haunted Mansion Graveyard mystery set, and it was released in May of 2012, and it wasn't a limited edition set, but I'm so glad I had a Captain in my collection, and of course I'm using him for the nautical pin in this tag. Kind of peeking over his tomb there at you. Okay, and so the final question for Heather and I's summer pin tag is, stargazing on a summer night is fun, so show a Disney pin that features stars on it. I've kind of hopped around every holiday on this pin tag, have I not? I have had Valentine's Day, kind of Christmas, 4th of July, and now I'm on Halloween. So I'm just going full circle on the year of the holidays here. But I had to feature this one. It is of Miss Daisy as a witch, and look how sassy she is riding side saddle on her broomstick. Isn't that adorbs? We were at the Halloween party, Mickey's Not So Scary, back in 2006, and I picked this one up. And it's got all the pretty stars around her and a purple sky, of course, for Halloween. And this one was released, of course, in October 2006, and it was a limited edition of 2000. So that is going to wrap up my summer pin tags ×2. I am so very grateful to Abby and Hope for tagging me on their summer pin tag. They are delightful and wonderful, and you should check them out. And of course, my wonderful, lovely friend Heather from the Disney Housewife. Go check out her tag. So now that I am current on a tag, I get to tag some people, which is wonderful. Usually I'm coming in at the last minute, you know, months after the fact, which my Earth Day pin tag is still going to be published, so I'm sorry about that. Of course, if you're watching this, consider yourself tagged. I'd love to see your tag and let me know when you do it, and I'll definitely watch it. Who I'd like to tag, and Heather and I didn't talk about who we're going to tag, so I hope that we don't overlap on this, but you know, no biggie. Just more incentive for that friend to do this pin tag. So I'm going to flip it back to Abby and Hope because there were prompts in this summer tag over here that you guys didn't feature in your summer pin tag. So I'm confusing you guys, so tag, you guys are it for the rest of our summer pin tag. I would love to tag my wonderful friend Robin over at Oh Hello Robin to do this pin tag. She has so many adorable pins. I know that she will knock this one out of the park. I would love to tag Rita over at the wonderful channel Enchanted Rita. She is just a delightful friend. I just did my very first mail pin trade with Rita. So Rita, you being my first male pin tag buddy, I gotta tag you for this one as well. So that is gonna wrap up my summer pin tag mashup. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, if you give me a thumbs up, that would be greatly appreciated. Of course, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to. I'd love for you to stick around and become part of the Collectioneer Club family. And speaking of that, we now have a Facebook group, which is the Collectioneers Club over on Facebook. Of course, I'll link it down below so that you can check that out. We have so many marvelous people over there sharing their collections with one another, and it's just a lot of fun, and I'd love for you to check it out as well. Whatever you're doing today, I hope you're having a marvelous time doing it, and I will plan on seeing you in the next video. You take care till then. Bye-bye.